Congratulations on your purchase of Kallassy's Swing Magic. You've joined hundreds of thousands of golfers, beginners, intermediates, low handicappers, even major championship winners who are using Kallassy's Swing Magic not only to train for a proper and repeatable golf swing, but to maintain that golf swing during long periods of layoff or when they don't have the opportunity to go out there and practice and hit balls before they play. You know, a lot of folks ask me how I came up with this split handle concept. Well, it was based on my years of experience as a training and conditioning coach and my work with professional golfers. When these golfers would talk to me about their golf swing without a golf club in their hand, they would, almost without exception, get into this position at the top of their swing where their hands were separated. Years later, when I was working to develop my own swing, I thought, what is it about these great golfers that their sense memory of the golf swing is with this right hand passive and separated in the backswing? Spent a couple of years doing research and development on this, and we found that when you have your right hand passively separated and your right hand in the proper position at the top of your swing, it allows the musculature of the right side of your body to relax, and that allows your left shoulder to get the maximum amount of shoulder turn that your body can give. So at the top of the backswing, with that separated handle, another thing that happens is as you're moving into the downswing, it makes it virtually impossible to come over the top. And that over the top movement on the way down is one of the principal reasons that we slice the golf ball. Also, as we're moving into the delivery position on the downswing, it allows you to maintain that wrist position and maintain that wrist cock so that you don't cast the golf club too early and release that power that you've built in your coil. So as you can see, it's almost impossible to come over the top. You can't release your power until the moment of impact, and it keeps you on a perfect plane on the downswing. You'll also see that it maintains that nice connection between the right arm and the right hip through delivery so that you get the maximum amount of acceleration right here through the impact zone, which is exactly where you need it for a powerful golf swing. First, let's talk about holding the grip. First, place your left hand on the stationary part of the grip. It's not important that you have your thumb all the way under there, but it is important that you find the proper grip alignment. If you like a strong grip, just roll your hand a little bit to the inside. A weaker grip, just roll it a little bit toward the outside in this direction. But in all cases, you'll want to see at least one or two knuckles when you look straight down at your grip. For the right hand, take your right index finger and place it here inside of this deep groove on the slider. The rest of your fingers all go on top of the bell. Be sure not to put your fingers underneath the bell. Now on your left hand, all of your fingers are underneath, and on the right hand, they're all up on top of the bell. Now just feel an easy sliding motion so that you get a sense of how the two pieces separate. When using your Kallassy Swing Magic, be sure to keep a very light grip pressure on both handles. Also, just let your right hand relax and allow the right handle to separate. Don't try to force it to separate. The basic exercise with the Kallassy Swing Magic is a pendulum. And I just want you to flop back and forth, and I want you to hear the click of the two handles coming together right here at about the area of impact. Now, the Kallassy Swing Magic is not designed to hit golf balls, but the feelings that you're going to ingrain into your body will translate very, very easily, without you thinking about it, to your regular golf club. Now, the fundamental exercises with Kallassy Swing Magic are the pendulum exercises. But before we start using it, I want you to just hold it parallel to the ground here in your backswing, and I want you to just feel that right hand moving as loose as you possibly can. I want you to just feel that free motion of the right hand, and then slowly just start to flop back and forth and back and forth. And I'd like to see both of these pieces coming together right here at about the middle of your body. Be sure not to let them come together out here, because that would be the equivalent of a very late release. So we'll start with just an easy flopping motion about hip high to hip high, and really get a sense of that nice relaxed motion that I'd like you to have. Slowly then build it up to a fuller swing while at the same time trying to maintain that reconnection of the grips right here at the middle of your body. Let me show you a few of those. Nice and easy, connect. And you'll see that as I'm doing this, I'm going to a complete finish with my hips and chest down the target line. Nice and relaxed, as loose as you can, back and forth, and back and forth. Another variation on the pendulum drill is the pump drill, and it's done like this. You move into your backswing, get a nice position up here at the top. Again, remember your right hand should be pointing up toward the ceiling so that your arm's in that nice position. And as you get up in here, instead of a full delivery through of the swing, what I want you to do up here is you get to the top of your backswing, and then I want you to pump, just slightly pump that right hand, so it's a pump, pump, deliver. And again, it's a pump, pump, deliver. And you'll find that this pump, pump, deliver will allow you to really ingrain that very important delivery position so that you will be able to translate that to your own golf club and hit the kind of shots that you're really looking for. Let's talk now about weight shift and balance. We like to teach that the legs in your setup are much like the capital letter A, with this leg being angled in here and this leg being angled in here. We like you to keep that capital letter A position of your legs throughout the entire swing until well after impact, and at that point you can finish the swing and build a nice balanced position on a straight and balanced left leg. But let's talk about what that looks like. In your backswing here, your right leg you can see has maintained that angle. A lot of people will get into a position here where they'll shift over, and this will become more like the stem of a letter H than the angled letter A that we want it to be. So as you move into your backswing here, we want you to maintain that angle, and what's going to happen there is you're going to feel a coiled position right in here. Now another thing here, and I'm going to show you this from the side, is we see a lot of people that when they get to this position, they'll feel this tension right here in their groin, which is where the coil should come from. But once they feel that tension, they straighten that leg and try to get what is an artificial amount of turn. So they'll get here, and then they'll straighten that leg, and they think they're getting more turn and more coil, but really they're giving away a lot of their power. So we really want you to get in that position here, keep this leg bent just as it is here, keep in that nice A position, and feel the turn right here. So here we are now, we got that letter A, we're in a nice coil here. Then on the downswing, once we're here, we move here, and you can see that this leg is still slightly at an angle. We're still in that letter A position until well after impact, at which time then we can get up on a nice stacked left leg with our weight over our ankle and our knee and our hip for a balanced and complete finish. Let's see what that looks like dynamically. And you can see that that balance and weight shift will really help you to control yourself throughout the entire golf swing. Now let's talk a little bit about the swing arc and takeaway position. A lot of people that we see as we travel around the country on their takeaway will move in a very circular way, and they'll move inside here. Their right arm will get inside of that right hip much, much too quickly. What we like to see is on the takeaway, as you move into the takeaway position here, that there's some space and that right elbow is still somewhat in front of that right hip. What this does is it allows you to get a much more extended takeaway, and it really extends that swing arc. And the longer, we know that the longer the swing arc is, the longer the club head travels, the more it accelerates and the more speed you get with the club head once you deliver it through impact. So let's look at what happens when you do a very quick, and when you roll in on what I call a circular takeaway. You pull in here, and look how short that angle is on the club head. Look how short the width of the swing arc is here. It's a very, very narrow arc, whereas if you take it away here, just look how much wider that is here than when you're coming in here. It's really quite dramatic, and that's something that will help not only beginners and intermediate players, but I see that with a lot of advanced players as well. So we really want to see you come inside here. Your arm is still in front of the hip on the takeaway, and from here you get into a nice upright plane, your hands in a nice position, and from there you can get a full extension here through the ball for a nice fluid long extension. Those folks that take the club away too much to the inside will generally deliver the club too quickly to the inside on the follow-through. So it'll look something like this. They'll come through here, and then from here they're either going over the top or doing other compensations to deliver the club head to the ball. When you take the club away properly with a nice wide extension here, from here you pass through this position that we call the power position, and that position allows you to really extend through the ball so that you will have a nice fluid and balanced finish here. Let me show you that from another angle. Here, as you're coming back, instead of taking it away to the inside, you take it away correctly here, nice and upright, and from here you go through that position. It allows your shoulders to stay square to the target, whereas that position, when you open up too quickly, your shoulders open up to the target much too quickly. So here you come through here to a nice extension. You're still square to the target line, and from there you can get a nice relaxed finish and a nice balanced finish. When I work with players, I'll actually give them the image, and I don't want you to do this, but I want you to have the image of actually swinging that club here, and as you get to this position, a release is exactly that. It's a true release. Now, don't do that in your living rooms, but a lot of players will try to do what I call forcing a release. They try to really guide it and make a release happen. A release is exactly that. Once you get that position of coil and you've got all that rubber band energy built up in that backswing, once you get to that position, the rest of the golf swing will just kind of happen by itself if you release and allow yourself to what I call abandon through the golf swing. Now, I use an analogy with a lot of the players that I work with, beginners and professionals, and that analogy is your backswing is much like the pulling back of a rubber band. A lot of players that I see, and some pretty good players, will do the equivalent of pulling that rubber band back, like coiling in their backswing here, and then instead of releasing that rubber band and letting it fly with the energy that you've built up in it, they'll pull that rubber band back and then they'll throw it forward. Well, the golf swing is much like that. If you can get up here and get in a really nice position and then try to muscle it forward and just be working with a very inconsistent golf swing that's very inefficient as well. I really want you to think about the economy of movement, about what we call effortless power. And you can only do that if you think about that relaxed coil and then let it just release. We've received thousands of emails from Kallassy's Swing Magic users telling us how it's helped them improve their game. If you'd like to tell us your story, we'd love to hear from you. Please visit us at www.swingmagic.com and tell us your story.